Hey everyone, Hassan here, and I got another Power Rangers Dino Charge review for you today. I found these at Target, finally. Here they are, the Double Strike Dino Charge Rangers. There's 3 different kinds, the Red Ranger, the Green Ranger, and the Blue Ranger. These are the 6.5-inch toys, and they kind of feature like a certain gimmick for action-packed play, I guess. They're similar to the Super Mega Force ones, which are about this size, except these ones, you have this double action feature, right? These guys are a little bit different. You wind them up, push a button, and they spin around. So they still have some sort of an action gimmick that they do, but it's a different kind of a gimmick. They stuck with the open packaging this time, which I'm not a big fan of because you can really get like messed up, you know, paint and all sorts of stuff can happen to these guys. And they went even worse almost because they're so minimalistic. Like there's not even a back of a package. There's this bottom piece and this top piece kind of. So, I mean, it does stick out on the shelf for sure. And I guess it's the only way that you can really do a demo of the product. So I get it. You know, in this case, I'm not too worried about it. These are not really items that I care too much about, like being scratched up and stuff personally. Kids are probably going to scratch it up anyways when they play with it, you know, and mess around. So I'm not too worried about it, but do keep that in mind if you're a collector. This is not collector-friendly packaging, but you know, it does get the job done, especially if you want to demo the product because you really have to twist around the Ranger, so this is really the only way that you can do it. So it actually kind of is a little genius. But for what it is, I do kind of think they were creative with it because you got like the little spiky stuff down here. So they really like made it like a nice like dino themed kind of a package, if that makes sense. So, yeah, so here's the package, right? So it's got your Dino Charge logo up top, and then it tells you, try me. So it says you wind up the figure, you push the button on the back, and it spins. So I'll show you guys the full gimmick once I open it up. But the idea is you can wind it up like this, and there's a little button on the back that you push, and he spins like that. So obviously you can't really do that without, you know, without having this kind of a package. So it actually kind of makes sense for this figure here. Spinning action, so these are the Double Strike Power Rangers. And there's the Red Ranger's T-Rex right there. So it tells you he's got a spinning punch and a spinning kick as well. So you can, I guess, do it one of 2 ways, because you can hold the upper body and have the bottom part spin, or hold the legs and have the top part spin. So you kind of have different ways to play. The back again shows you the instructions there, and it tells you collect them all. There's 3 different kinds, as you can see right here. Here's the Blue Ranger. So the Red Ranger comes with his signature weapon there, and then that's it. The Blue Ranger comes with his little weapon here, and then it comes with the Dino Charge Morpher as well as a blaster right there. But here's his packaging. So spinning punch, spinning kick, Double Strike, Blue Ranger, and the Stegosaurus right there. Okay, and then we have the Green Ranger right here. He's got the Velociraptor. Again, same kind of packaging there. So he comes with the saber, and then his own little signature weapon right there as well. So, so they each come with, it seems to be 2 items, except the Red Ranger is the only one that comes with 1 item there. But there's that. So let's kind of take these out of the packaging. We'll take an up-close look and see how all of their gimmicks work. So here they are out of the packaging, all 3 of them, and they look pretty cool. In case anybody's wondering, by the way, the actual base of the product, if you open this up, that's where the instructions will be. So very simple instructions, but just FYI in case you needed those. But here they are right here. And the first thing that I have to say is these guys actually look great. I think just as Ranger figures alone, I think they actually look really cool. So let's kind of take a look at them just up close in just terms of the look of the figures. Just, you know, a decent amount of paint, and I think it looks cool. There's not too much paint on the buckle or the weapons, but the actual, you know, most of the Ranger part right there looks pretty great. This whole little chest piece there. The helmets look pretty good as well. Yeah, I mean, overall, some nice little, you know, just detail on the arms there. And even though there's no paint, there's some nice detail on the buckle and the weapon itself. So if you painted them, they would look pretty fantastic, I think. And yeah, I mean, the back looks fine. So these are the 2 different triggers that you use for the spinning, so we'll go over all that. But it looks good. I definitely do like it. In terms of articulation, so the head on these figures can move around. It would be 360 degrees except for the little shoulder pad there, so that's the only thing that prohibits that there. The arms move up, like it would be 360 degrees again, but the shoulder pad prevents that there. And they do fold up, you know, about that much. The shoulder pad blocks it there. They can bend at the elbow as well. And there's no rotation or anything, no articulation for the hands there, but that's it there. And then obviously this whole waist piece rotates around because that's part of the actual spinning gimmick itself, which we'll go over in a second. So that can rotate around which way you want. It can do the splits, it can kick forward and back about that much, bend at the knees, and there's no rotation of the boots there. So all in all though, there's a decent amount of articulation. Like I can really, just as an action figure alone, you know, not even knowing that this can spin, you know, you can have some decent poses there. Like he's in a battle ready pose right there. And that looks pretty cool. You know, I definitely think they actually have a good look to them. I think these figures look great. So I'm actually pretty happy with just the look alone. We'll kind of I'll look at the gimmick in a little bit later, but here's the Blue Ranger here. And again, you know, you can have a cool pose, like he's got his blaster and the shield ready. Like that looks pretty sweet in my opinion, you know? I think that looks pretty sweet. Yeah, for sure. So that is the Blue Ranger there. So again, pretty much same articulation on all these figures. So I'm not really going to go too in detail on those. Although obviously some of the weapons, you know, are different here. So he has the Dino Charge Morpher, which again, some great detail on it. It's just not painted, is the only thing there. But it still looks pretty cool. And then here's his weapon right there. With paint, it would just look fantastic, but even without it, it's got a nice silver to it. I think the paint they used is nice bold colors on all of these, some nice silver paint that they used on these, which is great. The yellow really stands out as well. Just all in all, I think these figures just look great. So I'm pretty happy with them. The only one I'm not too big on is the Green Ranger. So same articulation there, basically, right? The difference is, though, so here's his weapon, which, his weapon just is okay compared to the others, in my opinion. But there it is right there. The weird thing is, like, the pose, because they want him holding it up like this. So, you know, if you're just trying to get him to, like, pose standing straight like that, he's just holding his weapon, like, behind him like that, which is okay, I guess. It would be nice if you would be able to take out the weapon. I think that would be pretty cool, but regardless, that part's okay. But this side, though, is kind of my big gripe. I get what they're going for here. They're going for, like, this kind of a look. And when you spin, the blade spins like that, which is cool. And I think that works great for this figure. But just one minor thing is if you're just trying to, like, pose it a certain way, you're very limited because, I mean, the hand can move like that, but you can't turn it around. So, you know, if you wanted to put it with the blade down, you're kind of stuck with that little pose right there. So it's fixed. You know, same articulation like at the elbow and everything else. Although this one is pretty hard to twist. Actually twists more back than anything. Oh no, never mind, that's because I have the arm backwards. I was like, what is going on? So yeah, so it does twist up like that. But the sword is actually, so it sticks like that, sorry. So that's kind of how it goes. And it's a little weird, but I guess for this figure though, I guess it kind of works. Because what the look they're going for is when you spin it, he's spinning around with the sword out like that. And so for that gimmick, it works. But you know, here's the Green Ranger right there, and again, also looks pretty good. So yeah, I mean, all in all, the figures look great, and they feel pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like they feel like I could like bang it against something, and you'd probably get some paint marks, but it's not gonna like fall apart that easily. I think these figures are always nice for kids because I think they will love the gimmick, and they'll love the way the Ranger looks. And it's pretty solidly constructed, I think. So that's definitely a nice plus for these. You know, if you want something kid-friendly, these are great figures to have. I wish they would have the black and pink Rangers. They never seem to do the female Rangers for these gimmicks, unfortunately. And since there's 4 guys start out the season, I guess since they usually only do 3, they had to cut one out. Unless they do another wave of figures, which would be great. Maybe they will, because they did 2 waves in Super Mega Force. So then maybe we will get a Black Ranger eventually. And hopefully a Pink Ranger as well. But here it is to start out with. So how does the gimmick work, right? So let's start with the Red Ranger here. And what the instructions say is you wind it up 4 times. So, you know, I just kind of just count random, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can kind of hear it start to click a little bit more to show that it might be done winding up. I don't know if winding it too much, that might mess something up. So I would just do it roughly 4 times or so. It's good enough. And you'll notice the little button is kind of sticking out. So that's the one that you push to have the upper body rotate. And I believe it rotates in this direction. So you just push the button here. There you go, just like that. So you spin it clockwise, you wind it up clockwise, and then he spins counterclockwise when he actually attacks. And they usually land in some weird pose, so you just have to just turn them back like that. But I'll just do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, ready? Push the button on the back, spins around. And it's pretty powerful too. Like if I tried to like knock one of these other guys out with it, I could probably pretty easily do that. Or actually, let's have him face off against the Super Mega Force Red Ranger here. Ooh, this one just doesn't even stay up properly, so let's try a different one. Silver Ranger. Is he gonna stay up? So that's another thing with these Super Mega Force figures, were not as articulated. So that is actually a bonus of these figures, and so these were also harder to have stand up. But these guys, like, oh gosh. Which one was the one? There's one of them that could stand up pretty easily. This one, there we go. They were just a mess, but here's the Red Ranger. I push the button, knocks it over pretty easily. So, yeah, they're definitely pretty cool. Oops, this way. And then the other thing you can do is I can like kick up the leg or something and wind it up again. Well, let's do that again, actually. Oops. You gotta be careful when you're winding it up. You don't want to push the button because then it unwinds right there. So this top button is what will spin the bottom part. So I can have him kicking the leg up like that and then spin the bottom part. And he knocked over the Blue Ranger right there. So pretty cool, because that's, I guess, why they call it the double strike figures, because there's 2 different ways that you can strike with the upper body or the lower body there. And even if you leave the legs down like this, I noticed that it has enough force that it kicks the leg upward. So if I spin this around a couple times, oops, and then I push the top button, right, to kick the legs. See, it had enough force to kick the leg upwards, which is actually pretty cool, because the Blue Ranger was all the way over there, his legs were down, but it flew up and kicked him down. So that's actually kind of neat. So definitely a nice little feature there. Oops. Even though the Red Ranger only has 1 weapon, because he's spinning around like he's gonna punch somebody, having a fist there, you know, I actually don't mind it. I think it's actually, you know, okay. So pretty cool. So there's that. All right, on to the Blue Ranger right here. So again, they have the same gimmick for all of these Rangers, all 3 things there. They just have different weapons, you know. So here we go, spin this up, and then I will do this, and I will push the button and spin that around like that, which is pretty cool. Okay, and then the next thing that I will do is the bottom part, so spin it around again. Push the button, and then kicks forward like that, which is pretty cool. So definitely nice to have. I actually kind of like leaving the feet down because it like kicks it up while it does the spin, which is actually pretty fun. So, all right. And last but not least, we have the Green Ranger right here. So let's spin him around. All right, ready? Oh, look at that. He like almost sliced, you can't even see it, he almost sliced off the Red Ranger's head there. Let's do that again. So that's actually kind of cool. Even though he has the weird little pose there, I like the fact that he's got the sword out like that because he can like slice off, let's try and slice off the Ranger's head right here. We're getting really violent for our Power Rangers here. Push the button. Oh, I almost sliced off the Blue Ranger's head apparently. So you gotta like mess with it, but it's still pretty cool. Try one more time. Whoosh. Oh, never mind. But anyway, so let's spin it again and let's do the legs. Okay, so I'll just kind of leave it like that and then push the top button here for the legs. And again, it kicks out the legs forward like that. So, oh, knocked him over. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I think these guys look pretty cool. They have a fun little gimmick. And they're nice, solid toys for kids. And even for somebody like myself, I actually kind of dig these. You know, Super Mega Force, when they released those double action figures, I was kind of iffy on it. but when I actually tried it, I had a lot of fun with them. And these guys are almost the same way. In fact, when I found out that they had the little spinning gimmick and not the same gimmick as Super Mega Force, I was a little bit disappointed because I actually like the Super Mega Force gimmick. But I actually like this gimmick too, and I'm glad they changed it up. I think it's pretty cool. As a comparison here, I got the Super Mega Force Red Ranger right here. These guys do not have as much articulation, so and they're permanently crouched down slightly, so the height difference is going to be there. So there is that. So they're slightly crouched down like that. But they do have the just blank, no painted weapons right there. Except these weapons are silver and these are gray, so that's nice. And this one was you have to manually do that sort of a gimmick, which this is fun by itself for sure. These are fun. But I also like these. They're both actually pretty cool. If I had to pick one, I would say I like these guys better because of the more articulation they have. So you can do more poses with it and have more flexibility with what you do with it. You can either do the kicking there, you can do the punching, whereas here, I mean, you got the sword and the blaster, but this is the only gimmick there. You know what I mean? So there's that. Although these guys did have a cool little glow-in-the-dark version too, so that is actually kind of neat as well. And some of them, like the Silver Ranger, was also pretty sweet. I did love having the giant staff that he had, which is definitely a lot of fun to mess around with. So the Super Mega Force ones are great as is, but the Dino Charge ones are also pretty great. And if I had to pick, I would say I like these guys better. So if you are a collector, there's no Dino Chargers. These guys don't come with any Dino Chargers or anything. But I still think they're nice little collector pieces to have. They look great, and they're fun little distractions, just like messing with them and their little gimmick. I think it's actually pretty cool. But all in all, even just having this on display, I think these actually look pretty sweet. And I really do hope they release the Black and Pink Ranger and maybe some other Rangers as well in the future. That would be pretty awesome. I'm not going to get my hopes up with the female Rangers just because Bandai historically has not been the best with that. But it would be pretty awesome. So Bandai, if you happen to be watching, make a Pink Ranger. I will buy it, and I'm sure many others will. But regardless, these guys are great, so check them out. They're going to slowly start popping up in stores. They're in certain Target stores, and they'll show up in other stores eventually as well. So check these out. These are the Double Strike Dino Charge Rangers, and I think they are a lot of fun, so I definitely recommend them. So that's that, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Stay tuned. I got more Dino Charge reviews on the way, and more Super Mega Force stuff as well. For Dino Charge, I got the Dino Charger packs coming up, so stay tuned for that, and a bunch of other reviews as well, so stay tuned for all that fun stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.